क्या हुआ मम्मी? My टूटी फूटी उर्दू gonna make us famous?
I'm actually not gonna edit that.
Oh.
No, you can say whatever you want.
Hello.
It's starting?
Yes.
Duran, come on here. I'm not speaking Urdu again. Come on.
तुम लोगों ने क्या समझाया है मम्मी को?
Brock.
Hmm.
Is that Brock? It's starting to sound more and more similar every day.
Hey, but he's very loud.
He's khatarnak, Billy.
किधर है बुराक?
No, this is Austin.
अभी
Austin
नहीं।
garage में.
सर मेरा दिल कर रहा है पॉडकास्ट हमारी रियलिटी बाइट्स है ना, मेरा दिल कर रहा है उसका नाम चेंज करके ट्विस्टर्स रख दूं।
नहीं.
तो मे बी ट्विस्टर्स दोबारा कोई और नाम से कोई और बना ले।
नहीं. Reality bites ठीक है. I really like that thing.
वो ट्विस्टर्स भी मैं I'll tell you a reason नहीं ट्विस्टर्स क्यों कह रही हूँ।
क्योंकि फिल्म अच्छी थी.
नहीं yes it's on. So oh did we read this? Chapter 8 I haven't.
I read the whole thing.
I don't remember chapter 8. This is the chapter I'm going to read. Who's going to volunteer reading this?
Me. Shan the Parman.
What is the best reading voice?
Shan. That's the confusing part. Shan's good at reading, but he doesn't.
This is inherently your skill.
So, you read it? It's आके बैठो ना। क्या? नहीं पहले ये एक पेज। We actually need 2 readings because एक reading में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। Start reading this chapter. The role of family and friends in shaping our habits.
In 1965, a Hungarian man named Laszlo Polgar wrote a series of strange letters to a woman named Clara. Laszlo was a firm believer in hard work. In fact, it was all he believed in. He completely rejected the idea of innate talent. He claimed that with deliberate practice and development of good habits, a child could become a genius in any field.
His mantra
was, a genius is not born.
Mantra होता है वो छू मंत्र कहते हैं, पर वो को नहीं पता। वो ना पहले जब हम छोटे
slogan like
no,
slogan
no. Chu mantra is like open sesame. So Indians have this thing in subcontinent. It's chu mantra. Mantra is like you do like we have rukiya na. So the Hindus have mantra, like they recite something and then they on something and then they think it will transform. Usually it's associated with magicians, I think, but even the sadhus and pandits.
So his magic spell.
So the mantra is a word used for so their belief or the core belief.
Okay, core belief,
that drives them or something that something like that. So his mantra was,
a genius is not born but is educated and trained. Laszlo believed in this idea so strongly that he wanted to test it with his own children, and he was writing to Clara because he needed a wife willing to jump on the board. Clara was a teacher, and although she may not have been as
adamant
as Laszlo, she also believed that with
adamant means very stubborn,
strict,
very strictly following something, very passionate and stubborn about it.
Proper instruction, anyone could advance their skills. Laszlo decided chess would be a suitable field for their experiment, and he laid out a plan to raise his children to become chess prodigies. The kids would be homeschooled, a rarity in Hungary at the time. The house would be filled with chess books and pictures of famous chess players. The people would play against each other constantly and compete in the best tournaments they could find. The family would keep a meticulous file system of the tournament history of every competitor the children faced. Their lives would be dedicated to chess. Laszlo successfully
Courted.
courted Clara.
Like at that time, it used to be like dating, you could say. But courted is something used for people who, because at that time they were a little bit conservative, didn't have the concept of girlfriend boyfriend that much as it is now. So they were conservative, and they courted means they were serious about marriage, seriously considering somebody for marriage. So just like you were asking me, this is Pakistan, we have Mangani and Haan and Rishta. So courted means that we are seriously thinking of marriage.
Laszlo successfully courted Clara, and within stop staring at me like that. And within a few years, the Polgars were parents to 3 young girls.
Really bad at reading.
Kids, children, girls. Okay.
Doesn't matter. Susan, Sophia, and Judith. Susan, the oldest, began playing chess when she was 4 years old. Within 6 months, she was defeating adults.
6 months.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sophia.
At 4.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, like not even 5 yet.
It's crazy. Sophia, the middle child, did even better. By 14, she was a world champion, and a few years later, she became a grandmaster. Judith, the youngest, was the best of all. By age 5, she could beat her father. At 12, she was the youngest player ever listed among the top 100 chess players in the world. At 15 years and 4 months old, she became the youngest grandmaster of all time, younger than Bobby Fischer, the previous record holder. For 27 years, she was the number 1 ranked female chess player in the world. The childhood of the Polgar sisters were... What is this?
Atypical.
This will be great.
Atypical means not ordinary, not normal, not average.
Okay. Atypical, to say the least. And yet...
What is a typical childhood? Typical childhood is like you guys are doing right now, playing games all the time and all that. Wasting time,
I barely play
running
games.
around. Yeah, they were goal oriented, focused on one thing. Okay? Achieving high level goals.
If you ask them about it, they claim their lifestyle was attractive, even adorable. In interviews, the sisters talk about their childhood as entertaining rather than grueling. They loved playing
They
chess.
never found it grueling.
They couldn't get enough of it. Once Laszlo reportedly found Sophia playing chess in the bathroom in the middle of the night. Encouraging her to go back to sleep, he said, "Sophia, leave the pieces alone." To which she replied, "Daddy, they won't leave me alone." The Polgar sisters grew up in a culture that prioritized chess above all else. Praised them for it, revered them for it. In their world, an obsession with chess was normal. And as we are about to see, whether habits are normal in your culture are among the most attractive behaviors you'll find.
So what is the one thing that we learned? How did they manage to create 3 geniuses of chess? A genius is not born, but educated and trained. This is what Laszlo believed. How did he manage it?
By training them.
How? ट्रेन तो बेटा डॉग भी हो जाता है, हंटिंग के लिए डॉग को भी ट्रेन कर लेते हैं, तो पुलिस डॉग्स होते हैं वो भी ट्रेन हो जाते हैं, ठीक है. तो व्हाट इज दिस शो? कितनी डेडिकेशन थी, कितनी सीरियसनेस थी, कैसे प्लान किया उसने, लास्लो ने. कम एंड सिट ओवर हियर. So how did they plan it, and how did they actually manage to achieve the goal?
they did this through constant reminders, repetition, and immersion, as well as making the process entertaining and fun. Something they enjoyed.
Goal.
They were never punished severely for failing, and they were greatly rewarded for succeeding as well.
Mm.
They would understand that it's okay to make mistakes because that's why you learn.
Hmm. But how could they even reach to that point of punishing like a 4-year-old child? How can you punish the child? 4-year-old child is already like being the best in chess and being like a champion by 6 months, within 6 months, right?
No.
4-year-olds beating adults by 6 months. Yeah. So 4.5, at the age of 4.5, should have been like a very fun environment. But like they decided everything, like their wallpaper, maybe the magazines, their decoration pieces, everything was chess. All discussions were around chess. Constantly, ek hi baat, ek hi baat, ek hi baat. Now, usually, and they were definitely, I think, homeschooled as well. But
It says that.
huh?
It says they were homeschooled.
They were homeschooled. So, when you have a mission, when you've decided, okay, this is what we are going to do, then this is immersion. This method of learning is immersion. You immerse into, I remember this is how I learned Norwegian.
Yeah.
And this is how I became a doctor. You know, we would have post-its on, ऐसे हाथ में post-it notes पकड़े हुए हैं, bathroom जा रहे हैं हाथ में notes पकड़े हुए हैं, गाड़ी में जा रहे हैं notes पकड़े हुए हैं हाथ के अंदर, books पकड़ी हुई हैं, जहाँ भी travel कर रहे हैं books पकड़ी हुई हैं. यानी even when we are free, we are sitting on a bus stop waiting for the bus to come, or sitting at the waiting area waiting for the driver to come and pick us up. We had that revision. कि चलो 5-minute revision, 10-minute revision, इस वक्त भी कर लें. It was a constant thing, and I never thought about it. When I got out of that phase and I started noticing other people, I started realizing how much time people are wasting. People are wasting a lot of time throughout the day. In hostel, I remember we didn't have television. And I think there was one, and somehow some people knew how to turn it on, and some days they would go and watch their favorite drama. Well, I think it was either in the common room or it was somewhere around, but I don't even I'd never used it, so I don't even remember correctly if there was one there or not. So for 5 years, like in the hostel, there was no, and I didn't even feel the need for watching television or watching movies, and it's just like something that the parents highlight in front of the children. That is what the children start adopting and start highlighting and start, like if I start, highlight is not the word. The word would be,
Promote.
no. Just like you make it charming. You make something very charming. Glorify. So it's like if a parent starts glorifying.
Yeah, I said it.
If a parent starts glorifying something, whatever we glorify, whatever we follow, whatever we adopt as the norms of the house, the whole family starts following that norm, right? So this is powerful. This is quite powerful. This is like this is a lot of influence. You can immerse yourself in a surrounding environment. You can create your own immersion, and you can actually move it forward like that, But this is powerful stuff. Not just for the sake of becoming good at something. It's like how much you can influence your own families. When you have your own families, you can he started thinking about it before he was married. He was so picky, he was so dedicated to his task. He chose somebody who was on the same page as him on that okay, when children get married, when we have children, and we will do this experiment. And imagine today, if somebody is told to, if somebody wants to have a religious household, and then they are told to, look for a religious wife or a religious husband, and they find it odd. So if they like somebody and they're not very religious, and then they have to make the sacrifice, it becomes very difficult because we are creating a very emotional generation. Look at him, to prove that experiment, for his experiment, which is just a worldly experiment, right? We just have to be genius in this world. Like in Jannah, we can be dummies and enjoy everything. I don't have to write an article in Jannah. I don't have to make podcasts to prove my worth, or I don't have to do anything. Once I make it to Jannah, I'm the most intelligent person on the planet, on my planet, because I'll have my own planet over there, inshallah. So I don't have to prove myself as anything when I'm in Jannah. So the only thing I have to prove is for this dunya. And he did that experiment. He used his own children as, the experimental tools. But he chose somebody very mindfully. This is taqwa. You're mindful about who you're choosing. You're mindful about what you're choosing, what you're getting into. You make sure, you work on that person that you're getting on board with. And then you have children, and then you plan a life together. Yes, our destination is Jannah. Our destination is, inshallah, Al-Firdaus. We want to be a Sabiqun. We want to be the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with. And imagine, like, he decided something, he made it, right? And the other day we were we were talking about the cyclists. In the same book, there's a mention of the cyclists. And they worked only towards what? Their only goal was what? Cycling. And they were looking for people to improve, and they got a new coach. And they were like, how many times they tried all the medicines for muscle recovery, and how many things they changed and did, and with trial and error. There was a mention of it. They haven't mentioned how many exactly, but they tried a dozen different medications, which one gives more muscle recovery, faster muscle recovery. When they did all of that, what was the goal? Cycling. Being a like, we don't even know them. It's not like that they're memorable people. We don't even know who they were. And if you think about it, even 100 years ago, who was there, who wasn't there, like, there's hardly anybody we know. Nobody remembers, nobody glorifies cyclists or such things as, like, who cares? I mean, except for somebody else who wants to be a cyclist. I mean, nobody really cares. Nobody gets up and sandwiches. I mean, it's just a specific number of people who are into this, and then they would go and. But think of the bigger picture, bigger version of, when we take a lesson from here and apply it to bigger problems, then I think the biggest problem that could ever exist is hell. The biggest hazard or the biggest problem a person could ever face is hell. It's not even a disease. It's not even earthquakes. It's not even a volcano eruption. It's not even, any war or anything like that. The biggest problem is hell. And when you have such a big problem and you have a solution, then all you have to do is work out in this dunya. All your task is that you work out how to go to Jannah and how to avoid hell. So what are your plans how do you think that you would be able to manage? How often do you think about it? What are your goals? What are your plans? How do you avoid hell, and how do you make sure that you go to Jannah? Are you as adamant as Laszlo? Are you as stubborn as Laszlo? Have you ever thought about it? Have you really processed it? in your mind? Are you that mindful that you could apply on your own self this immersion?
Maybe.
Hmm?
Sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's these, the man who wrote the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, he asks, what should I do now? I'm Muslim, right? Kya karna hai? And then mentions the 5 pillars of Islam. Salah bhi karna, namaz bhi karna hai, zakat bhi karna hai, फिर Hajj or
Okay.
fasting. But then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says also that you can do extra. And the Sahabi says that I will not do a single extra, right? Of any of those. And he goes away. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that if he sticks to his word, then he'll be Jannati. He'll go to Jannah. But yahi karna padega. Jannah.
Nahi, that is the
Minimum.
that is like somebody, एक तो minimum ऊपर से कि हाँ अगर उसके accept हो रहे हैं, if the deeds are accepted, because there is a lot more to Islam than there was a person who we cannot take. This is the problem. We cannot take hadith in the context of and spread it over everyone. ठीक है? Like it's like this. If a doctor, I go to a doctor, and in fact, I'll tell you something very interesting. Nano had a headache, and she was visiting my khala. And she called me. Now, she loved, mashallah, she was such a lovely person. She enjoyed, consulting me because I was in the final year of medicine. She enjoyed consulting me. And she called me and she said, I have a headache and your khala gave me this medicine. So, should I take it or not? So, she enjoyed asking me because, she liked the fact that I'm becoming a doctor and all that. So, she told me the name of the medicine. And she said, oh, khala had a headache a few days back. She had a lot of headaches. She got this medicine from the doctor. And she told me to take this medicine, I'll be fine. I heard the name of the medicine. That medicine was for malaria. And Ami had a high blood pressure. So her headache had nothing to do with her headache, like Khala's headache. There were 2 different headaches. So if she took the same medicine, it wouldn't have had any effect on her headache, because her headache was because of blood pressure, high blood pressure. So I told her, instead, you go to the doctor, have your blood pressure checked, and then take the medicine, whatever they will give you. Don't take this medicine. So this is the problem when we start taking one hadith and one response, and we start copy pasting it on everybody else, then we are doing a stupid job. We're stupidly just taking something and putting it, here and there. I mean, this much stupidity we don't even do with our food. One time we were taught that put the food in the mouth. Nobody puts the food in the eyes or the nose. Yeah? So we put food in the mouth only. Nobody is stupid enough to put the food in the nose or the eyes or the ears. Right? But with these things, with Quran and Hadith, we get so silly at times. It's amazing. Like, it's so amazing. It's so funny when it comes to Quran and Hadith. People are so either very careless, or either they get very careless or they become overprotective. Overprotective because there's a tendency in mothers. Once Ibrahim had a fever, and my mom and my grandmother, they told me to cover him up. He has fever, so wrap him up. Now the children, the doctors say, when a child has fever, you take off the wraps so that you become colder because of the the wind and the cooler air. It will cool you down, and then the temperature might go down a bit. But the old people, older women, older ladies, or other people, they just come and tell you, oh, wrap him up, wrap him up, wrap him up. So I wrapped him up. And then one person was telling me, no, take off all the wraps. One person saying, wrap him up. So I wrapped him up. Because mothers become afraid. So my knowledge was in clash with, the tradition or the older. The elders are saying this. Elders are telling me to wrap him up, so I wrapped him up. But then this is the overprotection. This is a phenomena that mothers, when they overwrap the baby, this leads to a overheating of the baby. So this is an overwrapping thing which is known. Later on, I found out that mothers tend to do this. They overwrap the baby becomes hot, and then they think the baby has fever. This is a thing.
He didn't have fever?
Huh?
He didn't have fever?
No, that he did have fever, but the wrapping thing was wrong. Like, you don't wrap up the baby with blankets when he has fever.
And since he did that, he became a nurse.
So, overprotection of, like, being overprotected of, no, don't go near the Quran. Don't sit next to the Quran like that. Don't put it like, even if you have a cushion in your lap and you put the Quran on top of that. Oh, you're putting Quran on your legs. It's on your thighs. What are you doing? Some people, you take it to any level. You can take it to any level. This is, different people will have their own different type of idea of protection of the Quran, sort of. So they wrap it up very tightly and they put it on a shelf, on the toppest shelf in the house.
You cannot even see.
Like that exhaust, you see, like we need a ladder to go up there, and that's why it is.
Safe.
It takes a year to clean it. Just like that, you need to borrow a ladder and climb up and clean that thing, or you have an attic that you've never gone to in 2 years. So that is what has become with the Quran, that they wrap it up. You haven't seen it because you haven't been in Pakistan. So they wrap it up. They put it in the highest shelf.
Pretty much embarrassing.
It is. They don't read it. And when they see somebody else reading it, I put it on my reading table, and somebody walked into my room and he was like, "Oh, this is Beadabi. This is Beadabi of the Quran. You put it on your writing table. This is Beadabi." I was like, "No, Beadabi is not reading it. When was the last time you read it? Yours is so high up in adab. Your adab is so high that you don't even read it. You're supposed to read it every day." So imagine how many books a person reads. Like we were discussing Khabi yesterday, right? Today, and even like I saw it yesterday, I was talking about it with Baba. He doesn't even say a word.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say a word. He's the topmost TikToker. There are people out there, they're making crazy nude videos and pictures, uploading pictures of their, they're showing their body. They're dressing up in front of the camera. They're showing their, undergarments, changing their clothes, always coming and, in front of the camera and showing themselves and talking like a certain way. Like, I don't like that manner in which some people talk, and करके बात करते हैं. I really hate it. No, not British. It's a way of very, they try to act as if they're very cute or something, इस तरह करके बात करते हैं. मुझे बहुत जहर लगता है. क्यों बोल रहे हो नाम? It's not New York, it's not British. I'm talking about a certain stupid type of people. There are some celebrities who started this trend and then everybody tries to copy them.
So
Don't take names like that. Don't take names.
I'm just wondering, is it an accent you're referring to?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's a style they adopted just on social media. And it's a very sleazy, very dirty type of, like a flirting type of way of speaking.
Okay.
And most of the people are like now, even Muslim social media influencers, even some of them try to copy them and talk like that. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I appreciate you guys. That's it. And nasal bhi ho jati hai unki awaaz. And there were so many people, they're making videos now about this. Somebody went to get coffee from a coffee shop, and there was this lady who was talking like that, and he's like, talk normally to me, otherwise I won't place an order. And then there was an argument, then she started talking normally.
Wait, that was a movie scene.
Whatever that was, but this is a thing, so people get irritated. This is I don't want to say Gen Z, but new generation, those social media generation, they don't know. This is a very dirty, sleazy way of talking. And so some people, they don't know, and they are, even some of the influencers are talking like that. It's so ugly.
That's not the talking you do. It's wah, wah,
Mm-mm.
wah.
So what was I saying?
You were saying कैसे जन्नत में
No.
जन्नत में
अभी जो
कैसे
बात हो रही थी about speech.
खाबी नाम खाबी
खाबी की बात हो रही थी कि खाबी doesn't even say anything. He doesn't even have that sleazy or any kind of, you know,
Just
thing.
the hands.
Just अच्छा, और है भी, यानी कोई उसने अपने आप को वो भी नहीं किया कि कोई you know कोई टॉम क्रूज हो या कोई ऐसी कोई पर्सनालिटी हो या इस तरह करके नॉर्मल गाय. मुझे तो ये भी नहीं पता था he was a Muslim, हाफिज कुरान, and no bad ugly jokes, no bad language, no curse words. ठीक है, nothing bad at all, and no stupid pranks, and still he's the best TikToker. ठीक है, what does that show? And look at, इसी को compare करो कि Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one book he read all his life, one book, and he became the best man that ever lived. He will have the best place in Jannah that nobody else has, Maqam Mahmood.
That's not a place in Jannah.
Maqam Mahmood is something even higher, like it's a very elite position that Allah will give.
It's a position, yes.
It will be given to
So
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is the only one who's getting it. What did he read all his life? Quran.
he had really recited it.
That is the only book.
Yes, that he could.
That is the only book. Ikra means read. Okay? So he read only one book. And he didn't even have any such, like if you look at the way Allah Ta'ala describes him, Ummi means as innocent as from a mother's womb. From Ammi is Ummi, Arabic में कहते हैं ना अम्मी को. So from the Ummi means somebody as innocent as the baby who's come out of the mother's womb. Just like we say when we do Hajj is accepted, we become Ummi. We become innocent as, you know, sinless, sin-free. So he was the most innocent person and didn't use any tools of like tricks of the trade, so to speak, जो लोग कहते हैं ना कि ये वाली चीज यूज कर ली, ये चीज यूज कर ली, ये ट्रिक यूज कर लिया फेमस होने के लिए या कोई ऐसी बात. Nothing. He just read Quran and followed it, and that was it. So these days people are trying to, every day there's so many videos and everybody's following this trend, you know, how to become a millionaire, how to do this, how to get this many followers, how to get this many subs, how to be followed. No, seriously, how to be followed by somebody, how to be followed by,
Higher is talking.
I mean,
How are you?
and people are trying to take courses upon courses upon courses. It's okay to have courses. It's not a bad thing. It's okay to improve your eloquence. Prophet ﷺ already was gifted with beautiful eloquence, right? He had a good personality. He was wise. He had the knowledge. If not bookish knowledge, that's fine, but he was a very wise man. Very trustworthy, very honest, and so many qualities he already had. That's like, you can have as many, you can work on yourself, but if you minus this curse, I mean, you guys have this, I think the biggest pandemic, which is worse than COVID, is this social media pandemic.
Screen addiction.
Social media. Screen addiction, social media. It's so, you know, you guys don't know. When we were growing up, there was this story we read, and I asked Mama, I think she was saying it was a true story. There was this person who made a fake paradise. Remember I mentioned it? He made a fake paradise. And he tried to, he bought some land and he turned it into a big garden, and then got some, beautiful girls, some maybe prostitutes or whatever. I don't know. So he would invite men to come, and he will give them girls over there and food and free food and gardens or whatever. I don't know, something like that. Now imagine this is all distraction. Distraction. And I imagine, subhanallah, it just clicked in my head that distraction is destruction. Just one alphabet. One or two alphabets are different. Two. Distraction means destruction. And just imagine Sirat. Sirat is going to be, the path that we are going to cross, the bridge. It's called a bridge, right? Imagine if you have a bridge in the world, and it's a narrow bridge, and below you is either, a deep valley, mountains, or any like spiky, something like that. Or it's a sea, very deep. Yeah. And imagine that you have to be very careful. One slip and you're dead. One slip and you're dead. How can you afford a distraction at that time? How many distractions can you afford at that point, in that situation? You cannot. So this is it. This is how it is. So isn't that immersion? Shouldn't we take that immersion, learn from that immersion, and we immerse ourselves into how to go to Al-Firdaus, how to make Allah Ta'ala happy? And imagine that when we try to immerse ourselves into making Allah Ta'ala happy, then Allah Ta'ala already says that you walk to me, I run to you. And how beautiful is the scenario. I was reading today ayah of, I think it's Surah Sawd, 38:18. Can you bring it? 38:18. Subhanallah. Remember our servant David, a man of strength who always turned to us. We made the mountains join him in glorifying us at sunset and sunrise, and the birds too, in flocks, all echoed his praise. Like, I was thinking that we love the scene in Beauty and the Beast where all the pots and pans are singing and dancing and
Yeah.
and imagine, like, in reality, everything around us is singing and dancing and praising Allah, doing the nasheed, like, Sami Yusuf. Like, imagine everything around us is doing, Hasbi Rabbi Jalallah or Ya Maulana, Ya Allah. Yeah. They're singing everything, even the sun and the moon, everything, all the stars, everything is singing, hum and praises. And just imagine, can we imagine the mountains going like that? Like that teapot? Mountains. No, they won't break. They won't break. No, if they did it in real life, they wouldn't break. They would, if they can do that in real life, then they would be unbreakable. So we made the mountains join him in glorifying us at sunset and sunrise, and the birds too in flocks all echoed his praise. Echoed his praise. This sound like that choir thing, right? Ha, hoo, ha.
Choir is just a group of singers.
But they echo, right? Like he says it, and then the chorus is the people in the back that they follow. It would be like a choir.
Choir is just a group of people who sing together.
Yeah, but they sing the chorus. They sing the chorus means they sing once the lead singer sings, and then the rest of them follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we had this. For example, we had this song of Benjamin Sisters. When we were growing up, there were these Benjamin Sisters. They used to play national songs of, songs in which they praise Pakistan. So they used to sing something like "Naye Dilon Ki Musafaton Ko संभालना है, and they would go, संभालना है. That would all, that, you know, every time he would say संभालना है, they would, संभालना है. So they would go in chorus, you know, behind him. So echo means like he praises and then they echo the same thing that he is doing. Can we imagine? The mountains are like so giant structures. Can we imagine? How will they praise? You know? Such a beautiful, and imagine the voice, the idea that Allah Ta'ala is telling us that the mountains are, he is reciting and then the mountains are reciting with him. Mountains and birds reciting with him. How, like, what could be the scene? Him reciting and the mountains reciting and the birds reciting. Like, it's a magical sort of scene. Right?
Something that would be in
So magical.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah? Something like Mary Poppins, something like this Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So, what else? I can make sketches of all of you. And एक इधर लेटा हुआ है, एक इधर लेटा हुआ है, एक इधर बैठा हुआ है. एक almost तकिया खा गया है. He bit it, you know. Yeah. मैं देख रही थी, he is so silly. तकिया को bite कर रहा है, उसको पता नहीं करना क्या. हाँ.
वो delete करना.
नहीं, मैंने delete करना. नहीं करना.
Tell a story.
कौन सी?
One day.
Yeah, we can continue reading that maybe.
क्या चीज?
Can I read it?
Character.
बस अभी आज के लिए सिर्फ इतनी बात, आज के लिए सिर्फ उसमें से इतना ही बात मेंशन करना था कि इमर्शन हम कैसे कर सकते हैं. How do you suggest? What is the best way of immersing? And if we look at it, I don't think we are doing a good job. I don't think. Do you think we are doing as good a job as the polls are? For we're not doing.
Can I read this? Can I read this?
You can, but wait करो अभी ना, बात करें बेटा. तो हम और ज्यादा कैसे improve कर सकते हैं immersion in Arabic? And if I learn Arabic like that with that immersion, imagine like we could be experts.
Can you read from the start?
No, you can. I will know you guys. Immersion. He just like he said it. कि there's no genius by birth. So if we all do it like that, इतनी immersion हम करें in Arabic, just the way like, I enjoyed it when he was trying to speak Arabic yesterday when we went out for a walk. If we all do it, we did the drawing, like we have to know every word in this room, everything like the wall, mirror, and footrest. क्या था? पाँव का आराम. Alexa said पाँव का आराम. So we have पाँव का आराम in like we can do the Arabic for that. Lexian Arabic. So पाँव का आराम, कालीन, and then we have the sofa and takiya and everything. It's just the colors, all the colors in the room.
Red, orange, yellow.
Then we have
Brown.
air, fan, everything we see, even the body parts and everything.
I have a suggestion for this.
So we keep revising. But the more we expose ourselves to it, the more it's going to become second nature. Because I realized one thing, that when I'm learning, I feel very confident that I know this thing. The moment I start to say it, I become the
Intelligent.
it becomes so it's like
Gone.
doesn't start, the card doesn't start.
Reduced to atoms.
No, that I learned something from this. You cannot speak Arabic or any language till you practice it.
You have to vocalize
You
the
have
sentences.
to say it. You have to say it.
You can learn every book.
हाँ, मतलब जितनी
every
मर्जी, you
word.
can read as much as you want. You can read as much as you want. You will not be able to speak it till you practice speaking. That is what I've learned, because I've been trying to speak for a few days, and I realized that no, speech needs separate practice. Reading is a separate skill. Learning and reading, understanding is a separate skill. Speaking is a separate skill.
Like the way we can understand Urdu.
Urdu, yes. You may understand Urdu, but you can't speak. Speak करने पे आओगे तो भूल जाओगे क्या करना है. So it's a different part of the brain that you have to. I think you have to. This is होता है ना वो neuroplasticity. You have to create the path. You have to create the neurons. You have to create those circuits. Like जैसे हमने अगर लाइट ऑन करनी है बाहर किसी जगह, हमें वो तार वहां लेके जानी है, यू नो, जस्ट लाइक लॉन मोवर की तार हम खींच के उधर तक लेके जाते हैं, तो वो वायर हमें लेके जानी है, तो वो वायर हमने क्रिएट करनी है ब्रेन के अंदर एक्स्ट्रा। जब तक वो क्रिएट नहीं होगी हम स्पीक नहीं कर सकते। ये मैंने, अब आप लोग जो हो ना, लर्न करो, तो ट्राई टू
ठीक है
स्पीक एज मच एज यू कैन, चाहे जितनी मर्जी गलतियां हो, जो भी वर्ड पढ़ रहे हो उसको से आउट लाउड।
I have a suggestion for this immersion thing. First of all, we're bringing the entire family into this,
हाँ,
and that
उन्होंने भी यही किया था, वो फैमिली की किया था उन्होंने ना। हाँ, उसके बगैर नहीं हो सकता आई थिंक।
simple requests would be ignored unless it's been spoken in Arabic.
हाँ, ये भी कर सकते हैं।
Yeah.
That we can do. Then everybody will go hungry all day.
I can simply say Ana Joanna.
Yes.
Ana
हाँ, फिर weight
Joanna.
loss हो जाएगा, फिर फायदा हो जाएगा, win win। The barakah of Arabic language, we all became thin. We all became thin because we couldn't ask for food.
You can ask for food. Paratha,
वो पराठे की अरबी क्या होगी? अरबी में तो पराठा होता ही नहीं है।
Prata is an Urdu word.
Yeah.
Just say brata.
बराता,
Yeah.
बराता, वो समझेंगे हम पराठा कह रहे हैं, बरादा, और हम कह रहे हैं brother. This is Chinese whisper. This is how words twist, you know. This is how words
Just
twist.
say naan and butter. How do you say butter? It's not makkan in Arabic.
वो एक्सपेरिमेंट देखा हुआ है ना, वो सामने ऐसे एक ऑडिटोरियम है या पता नहीं बास्केटबॉल जिम में है ना,
Yeah.
वो बच्चे को वो ऐसे करके बताती है, ऐसे
They're like
I
50
will
kids.
behead you, का ऐसे करके ना, ऐसे करते हैं, and then by the time
whisper
हाँ,
with gestures, hand
Gestures से,
gestures, and
ऐसे
the spread
ऐसे किया उसने, और जब तक वो एंड पे जाता है ना, वो कहती है
thumbs up.
सेकंड, वो तो ऐसे कर देती है,
Yes.
2 thumbs up हो जाते हैं।
Let me
Ah.
explain.
Ah.
The experiment was that in a school's gymnasium, they had 50 kids in a Chinese whisper with gestures.
हाँ,
The first guy started off making a gesture of cutting the neck, like I'm going to kill you. That gesture.
हम्म,
And then after all those 50 kids have passed those gesture forward, the last kid, the gesture turned into from cut your neck to thumbs up with both
well
hands.
done, like a double well done. Yeah.
Great job.
Great job. Yeah. This is what happens. This is
Either
why
it's
we
a
have to
real
be
Chinese
careful.
whisper or it's a response to the initial.
Yeah.
gesture.
This is why we have to be careful when things come down to us over centuries. When things come down to us, and how there are people who are known for. There are certain people who are known for twisting things. You know, this is why we should have critical thinking. There are certain people who are mentioned in the Quran that they change Allah's book and they twist words and they change things. So we have to be very careful that, you know, and there are people of propaganda and there are people who mix a lot of things up and try to present a certain form of reality to you, which is all, they're just wasting your time. You know, they're just wasting your time. Their main agenda is wasting your time. Whenever you do something, you have to ask yourself, is this beneficial for me? Is it beneficial for me? Don't let shaitan rob you of your akhirah. What is shaitan's job? Who understands what is shaitan's job? To see you fail, right? That you fail. उसकी जॉब यही है कि आप फेल करो, और आपकी जॉब ये है कि आप पास करो, ठीक है? So yes.
I have a question. How did it happen? Like, how did people change the Bible? No, how did they change it? How did people start finding out, oh yes, this is right, if they convert to the Quran, and people memorize the Bible?
They didn't memorize it. They did not memorize it. They did not even let Hazrat Isa preach a lot.
Oh,
And Hazrat Isa died before he could, like right after, very soon after he got the Bible, he was, you know, they tried to persecute him and Allah took him away.
so the real
He did not get a chance.
People of power, kings, priests, popes, right? These people who wanted their own thing, their own rules applied to the world, they knew the rules won't be very good ones, right? They want something to happen, but people won't do it. So instead of doing that, they would write their own rules in the Bible, right? And then they would say, look, the Bible says this. And since the people of power, no one could question them or say anything against it. And so
Allah
it's
Ta'ala,
part of-
let me explain. Allah Ta'ala gave human beings a chance with the previous books. Why? Because if Allah had not given human beings a chance, then human beings will say, you didn't give us a chance. Yeah? Just like sometimes you don't tell the other person to do something and they're like, but you didn't ask me, I would have done it. You know? They say, but we know that no, that person wouldn't have done a good job. So, but Allah gave that chance with the previous books. Allah gave that chance. Time and again, Allah Ta'ala gave the chance. And imagine how stupid human beings are that they don't listen to Allah Ta'ala, although Allah Ta'ala is only calling them to Jannah. I mean, imagine if there is a, you know what is Best Buy? You know what is Best Buy?
Yeah, I
you
know
know what is Best Buy? Imagine if the owner of Best Buy is saying that you, for 20 years, don't buy any gadget. When I'm about to die, I will give you all the shops of Best Buy. And then he'll give you before 20 years. But anyhow, he will give you, but he will make a will and he will tell the lawyers that after 20 years, give it to him. But imagine if the owner of Best Buy, okay, it's just a gadget shop. Just a gadget shop, right? उसमें ना आपकी कोई traveling needs पूरी हो रही है, ना कोई food, ना कोई desserts, ना कोई उस तरह की बात. It's just gadgets. ठीक है? One एक product है उनका, यानी electronics है, ठीक है?
Yeah.
अब वो आपको अगर कहता है कि भाई you 20 years don't buy anything, I will give you the whole factories and shops and everything that I have, I will give it to you, right? And you're like, okay, fine, you'll be happy because you will be thinking, yeah, me, my family, my future generations, everybody would be rich because they'll get that. Like my secure ho jayenge mere aage ki future generations, right? My future generations will have this as a company and everything. You'll actually listen to him. You'll actually fall for this deal. ठीक है? You'll make the deal. Because you'll be like, okay, 20 years को पता भी नहीं चलता, ऐसे गुजर जाते हैं, like हम 5 years ऐसे गुजर के पता भी नहीं चला. तो when imagine Allah Ta'ala is giving you promise of Jannah, it's not just electronics. It could be aeroplanes, spaceships, boats, you know, cruises, luxury cruise, roam around, go anywhere in the world, see scuba diving करो, पैरा जंपिंग करो, एरोप्लेन्स में अपनी यानी वो हमें इतनी सी चीज हम देखते हैं ना, हम खुश हो जाते हैं. काइट्स देख लें आसमान में, हम खुश हो जाते हैं. Yeah, we see a helicopter in the air, we get happy. We see fireworks, we get happy. Yeah?
See an airplane in here.
और वो जो मेला ईद मेले पे गए थे, वो एयरप्लेन आया था, वो पीछे नीचे लिखा हुआ था ये मुबारक, और हम वो देख के खुश हो जाते हैं. Human beings are like that. We like such things और हम खुश हो जाते हैं. So imagine owning all such things, like एक दुनिया पूरी. Imagine owning the whole world right now. If we owned everything in dunya right now, जो exist कर रही.
Don't do anything bad. Don't do anything that Allah has forbidden. But just this time, this small thing that is as worth as a rotten sheep, dead rotten sheep.
But if we owned this, even this dunya, if somebody said, "Yeah, you will own this." whole of it, पूरी दुनिया आपकी. लाइक ये सारे घर इधर हमारे नेबरहुड में, सारे घर, वो एपिक मस्जिद, ये वो सारा जितने भी इधर उधर जितनी भी चीजें, नॉर्वे, इंग्लैंड, जितने भी जहाँ हम अच्छी अच्छी जगह, सारे रेस्टोरेंट्स, डिमासीज, ये वो, यू नो, कुल्फा शॉप्स, बर्फी शॉप्स, all those things, everything is ours. All the things, even पूरा अमेज़न में जितने भी चीजें पड़ी हुई हैं, सारे टॉयज, सारे रोबोट, सारे खाने की चीजें, सारा कुछ, everything is ours. Even in this दुनिया, चाइना की सारी फैक्ट्रीज, सारी गाड़ियां हैं हमारी. ठीक है? अगर अल्लाह ताला ये इस तरह से कोई कह दे आके कि ये सारा कुछ आपका है दुनिया का, कैसे हम एक्साइटेड हो जाएंगे? हैं? अल्लाह ताला is telling you how many times?
No, 7 skies. No, lowest one is the seven skies. More than 7 skies.
I want to go back to his question on how the Bible was changed.
उस पे आते हैं ना, उस पे मैं आती हूँ अभी। मैं जो बात कर रही हूँ वो ये है कि जब इतना कुछ अल्लाह ताला ने देना है, राइट, एंड लाइक हमें यार घर पे 2-3 डिशेस आ जाती हैं फ्री में खाने की तो हम खुश हो जाते हैं। एंड some people will try to make you, sometimes Shaitan tries to make you feel, he robs you of the excitement of going to Jannah. Shaitan will not let you feel excited about going to Jannah. Jannah is a very exciting place.
Wait, I never knew it tries making you stop feeling the excitement of
It does. It does. Many adults, if Shaitan didn't stop you from feeling excited about going to Jannah, how will you waste time? How will you be destroyed by distraction if you always had the excitement that you're going to Jannah? If I tell you, Baba's coming and we are going for Damasi, you'd be so happy. But you're not that happy about going to Jannah.
I'll be a little skeptical.
Yeah, very.
No, I'm talking about Jannah. That is an example.
No,
I did not mean it. I did not mean it. That was an example. So, when Allah Ta'ala says, you will have everything in Jannah, everything you wish for, that means it's very likely, that is my conclusion, Allah knows best, but I believe that on the first day of Jannah, everything that I wished for in dunya, I will get on the very first day of Jannah. Because the first day of Jannah is 50 or how many lifetimes we had? 40 or 50 lifetimes we will spend in the first day of Jannah. You wait. So on the first day of Jannah, you will have everything that you asked for in dunya and more, 50 times more. Everything. So imagine how much more important it is to try and make it to Jannah. Do the things that Allah wants you to do. And that does not mean that we have to live as long as Allah wants us to live. That is important. Anybody who tries to kill somebody or kill themselves, they go to hell.
There are many ways that to go to Jannah.
There are. But children go to Jannah anyway. They're after a certain age that they become answerable. But even then, if they follow Allah Ta'ala, then Allah Ta'ala is so loving. He says, you walk to me. Allah Ta'ala says, you walk to me, I run to you. Then Allah Ta'ala talks about that incident where if somebody lost his camel and then he found the camel and he would be so happy that he would be so excited and he would say, Ya Allah, you're my banda, I'm your Aka, I'm your Rabb. Talking to Allah Ta'ala, he fumbles a bit. And Allah Ta'ala says, I am so excited when you come back to me. One cannot imagine, he's so big, he's so great, and he's coming down to your level and he's telling you, I would be so excited that I will make a mistake in my saying, in my speech. So amazing. So the way this is real, this dunya is real, this here like biryani or pakode or samosa and barfi and everything, the way that is real, the way cheesecakes are real, we cannot have enough of them, we had 4 last week. So the way these things are real, right? The fun and the pleasure, the games, the enjoyment, the entertainment, the movies of Jannah are going to be real, more real.
I can literally go in the game and go.
Because imagine, why do I believe there will be movies in Jannah?
We enjoy movies here.
Because Allah Ta'ala has told scenarios. Allah Ta'ala has captured all the scenarios. So many scenes of so many incidents Allah has explained. How Ibrahim alayhi salam went, how he found the statues and he put the food over there and told them to eat or speak or, different incidents, scenarios. Then Musa speaking to Pharaoh, then the serpent. Can you imagine the scenery, magic happening, so many things happening, right? So I think we'll have a lot of entertainment in Jannah, a lot of entertainment.
We get that.
Yeah, your question is, no, it's simple. It is, I think I answered most of it. Allah Ta'ala said, Allah Ta'ala gave the chance to them to not change it, right? They changed it. And then Allah Ta'ala said that Quran is, because this is the final revelation, I will preserve it and you don't change it now. You cannot change it now. So it is still in the same language. The previous books, they are no longer in the original language. They're not available in the original language. Hazrat Isa spoke Aramaic. The Bible is in Hebrew, and even the Greek and Hebrew, and they have been changed, and we don't have them in the original language. We only have Quran in the original language.